Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel called A Barbie Collector. At this channel we mostly talk about vintage Barbies, so if you're into that, stay tuned. Here's a video about the rarest rarities, more niche than this it won't get. And as you can tell by today's video title, the video is about the magical, intriguing world of prototypes. Yes, Barbie prototypes. There are quite some rare Barbie varieties, like the sideboard Barbie, the Japanese skipper, the transitional ponytail Barbie. We all talked about those Barbies, but if you think it can't get rarer, it can. There are some Barbies where literally only one or just a couple were ever made. So today we dive into the world of Mattel's prototypes and take a look at dolls from the Barbie universe that blew my mind, never hit the shelves, and are my favorite unreleased Barbies from the 60s and the early 70s. So let's take a look. Disclaimer 1. There are quite some creative collectors who make amazing one-of-a-kind dolls that are made to look like rare variations or prototypes. I won't be focusing on these kinds of unique Barbies. We will only look at dolls that were made by Mattel or dolls intended for large-scale production by Mattel. Disclaimer 2. I have never seen these dolls in real life. I found them by doing extended research, so I knew for sure that they existed and were not part of a creative one-of-a-kind artist's work. And then the last, disclaimer number 3. Because the dolls in this video are ultra rare, most of the time there's only one photo available, and the image quality isn't what I would ideally want it to be for YouTube videos. But hey, it's all part of the magical world of prototypes, I guess. It makes it even more mysterious. And it's basically a wonder that they got documented at all, so otherwise you would have never known that these beauties existed. So, let's begin. Number 1, Black Skipper. So, we are starting off with this super cool Black Skipper. This prototype skipper was bought from a former Mattel employee and has been validated as definitely a Mattel product. The doll's torso and limbs are the regular straight leg skipper type with the same markings but stained brown. The head looks like it was made from a regular skipper mold using a brown colored plastic formula, but her mouth is shaped like the mouth of a scooter. The quality and styling of her hair, the face paint and the swimsuit also scream Mattel if you ask me. She wore an orange, reddish and white swimsuit in a pattern I haven't seen used on any other doll. I'm saying that specifically because sometimes Mattel repeated their fabrics on other dolls, but in this case that didn't happen. Her hairstyle resembles the bendable leg midge hairstyle, and she was probably designed around the same time, since the first skippers were made and released around 1963 until 1967. The first black doll from the Barbie universe to hit the shelves is the colored Francy from 1967, but this may be the real first black doll from Mattel's Barbie universe. Something else that makes her different than a regular skipper is that she looks straightforward, whereas Skipper and Scooter, and all Barbies thus far, look side-glancing, she looks straightforward. Her eyebrows are different from the Caucasian Skipper and Scooter dolls. They are broader than both mentioned dolls and the same thickness all around. It seems like she wears a light colored or maybe faded lipstick, as we can also see on Scooter sometimes. The doll was shown at one of the New York toy fairs in the mid-60s. Unfortunately, she must not have received the reaction Mattel was hoping for, since Mattel decided not to produce her for the market. One toy buyer at the fair remembers seeing the doll. He believes the doll had an entirely different name, so she was not called Skipper. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember the name. Since there's literally only one doll like this, she can be seen as one of the rarest dolls in the Barbie universe. Doll number 2, Blonde Fashion Queen Barbie. In 2005, a rare variation of the very common Fashion Queen Barbie popped up at a Christie's auction, where this doll usually has molded brunette painted hair and wears light pink lipstick. This doll had yellow blonde painted hair and bright red lipstick, the total opposite. But that's not all. Her eyes were not side-glancing like the regular Fashion Queen Barbie or any other Barbie from Mattel so far. No, again, she had blue centered eyes. She also had no earring holes, something we see more often with prototype dolls. She has the regular midge Barbie body and was dressed in her original white and gold swimsuit with a turban. Besides this unique doll, the auction also included her brunette counterpart, complete with accessories and a box. She sold for 336 British pounds. If you ask me, a steal. About her provenance, the following was stated with the Christie's auction in 2005. The blonde fashion queen Barbie was purchased at Remember When Auction USA in August 1992. The catalog, which is being sold with the doll, described it as a 1963 prototype fashion queen with emphasis on the blonde hair color and no ear piercings. We can even see this unique Barbie doll with her yellow painted hair in a Mattel catalog. But since the time she came into production, for some not obvious reason, they changed her looks to the brunette doll we know nowadays. First of all, in my humble personal opinion, let's be clear that I would have loved to have this unique piece of history in my collection. But to be honest, I do get why Mattel changed her looks. Barbie was very sophisticated during these times. And the yellow blonde with bright red lipstick, it looks a bit off-brand for Mattel, and to be totally honest, maybe a little bit tacky. But hey, we see that there are quite some interpretations and reproductions of this rare prototype, since painting the scalp can already give you the impression of this being or looking like the prototype original. But I guess there's only one or maybe two that truly are the prototypes of this fashion queen Barbie. And then number 3, Francy grows. I'm up for a big mystery here. So if you follow this channel for any longer, you may know that I am an absolute Barbie geek. I deep dive into all my books, all my magazines, all sources I can find, but I'm just not sure about this one, but I had to share her with you guys. Even though my information on this prototype is incomplete, I have to share this one with you since I'm so intrigued and she's one of my favorites. And maybe also yours. Or even better, maybe you can tell me who the hell this Barbie is, because I have no idea. I only have one picture, and it's a picture of a Francy Gross doll from 1967. The odd thing is that this photo is from a Mattel released trading card from 1990. To be honest, let's start off that I didn't knew Barbie trading cards were a thing, let alone trading cards of prototypes. There were approximately, of course I dove into this. There were approximately over 300 trading cards and 20 special editions. I won't go into too much detail since the video isn't about trading cards, but there are tons of trading cards for sale. And I've looked at many pictures of ads and I cannot seem to find this specific trading card. Even though its graphic design is exactly like the other trading cards. So there are 2 websites that have this scan of this trading card that doesn't seem to exist. There is a poster by Mattel that has almost all of the trading cards on it. It's not there. There are additional deluxe cards. Can't seem to find her there. I went through tons of eBay ads. No one has this card. My partner said, you know what? Me with my research skills, let me dive into this. He was also intrigued by this mystery. Also couldn't find anything. I don't know, it seems like a hoax, but why would someone put so much effort into this since it's so niche? And she's photographed exactly in the style and the way Mattel would. And then there's this weird triangle shaped box that's just very odd and un-Mattel. And this thing below the box that just seems like, I don't know, a glitch or anything, a Photoshop error. I'm not sure. I just have so many questions. I just have a lot of questions. So here's an example of one of these prototype cards. Here you can see a talking Barbie with a transparent torso. Really odd to put in a trading card if you ask me. And I also think it was probably a doll to show the talking Barbie mechanism to dealers, for example, because I absolutely cannot imagine that Mattel wanted to sell these half robots, half Barbie dolls, I don't know, to the public. So it does seem realistic that Mattel made these cards for collectors and made these prototype cards and wanted to give an exclusive insight into Barbie Land. So I definitely believe that. So help a girl out. Anyway, back to Francy Gross, because I did find some things. We see a doll with a Francy body, a lean teenager. She's Barbie's cousin. Her face doesn't really resemble Francy though, so she has the Casey head mold that has been painted in a way I've not seen before. She seems to have dark eyes, thin eyebrows. Her hair looks inspired by the hairdo of Talking Barbie, also from 1967. I'm pretty sure she has eyelashes like the talking Barbie. She has long hair with some ribbons in it. I'm not sure how long it is since I only have this photograph from this precise corner. She wears a really cool bathing suit. It looks like a suit and not a two-piece outfit, but I'm not sure because, again, this is the only evidence I have of this doll ever existing, I guess. The psychedelic pattern of the outfit looks inspired by Black Francy's swimsuit. That doll is also from 1967, so it seems to all make sense in a way. Then about the gross part. And I'm afraid there's a reason you can interpret that as gross or gross because, yes, with this doll, Mattel introduced a growing mechanism where you could change Francie from a child to a teenager, I presume. I think this was the start of the mechanism later used on the 1975 Growing Up Skippers, where you could, yes, how do I say this? The doll that made it possible to let her boobs grow. I'm afraid that's just what it is. Back to 1967 and Grow Up Francie. The box says, "Squeeze my waist and watch me grow." It gets a bit of it gets a bit more terrifying with the quote on the box, "Francie can be a teenager when you want her to." Because of the arrow on the box pointing upwards, I just hope and assume and think that she would grow in height. And I hope that's the only thing that grew, to be honest. And that just the person that came with the 1975 growing skipper idea was just in another universe. And this has nothing to do with that mechanism. But still, when it comes down to the looks and aesthetic of this doll and the mystery surrounding her, I'm a big fan. I love her face mold and her face paint and just the whole aesthetic to it. Not per se the mechanism, as you already heard in my tone of voice, but I'm all in for more scoop, intel, and info about this doll. So if you know anything, if you have this collector's card, please let me know. I will be eternally grateful. And then some honorable mentions. I came across this cool image of what seems like a black candle. He looks really different and earlier made than Brad. Anyway, I love the way this doll looks. Then I want to show you guys this American Girl blending with a standard Barbie and this cool Aurora Japanese looking hairstyle that she has. And wrap up with these cool images of Barbies and Skippers looking straight forward instead of sideways. And these images were specifically or only used for commercials on TV, for ads. I've never seen these dolls in real life, only repainted but not original. This was quite alright. Let me know if you would like to see a part 2 of this video where I would explore more prototypes from the Barbie universe. Anyway, I love making it. I learned a lot. I did quite some research and I hope you enjoyed watching this too. If you're into very specific niche videos like this, be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I don't know how realistic it is, but I'm trying to hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of this year. So help me out, subscribe, check out my Instagram, and thank you again for watching. And I see you in the next one. Bye!